You know, I think we should go see the new Godzilla and Kong movie.
The one with the big monkey? Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Man, that Godzilla and Kong movie was awesome. I just wish there was another really good monkey movie like that, you know?
Actually, it's funny you say that.
Man, Monkey Man was incredible, I tell you. Just a shame they won't have any other monkey movies this year, right?
Oh, dude, you're not gonna believe this. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today our movie in the middle is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is the follow-up to the prequel trilogy following Noah as he traverses the overgrown ape-dominated world to rescue members of his tribe, and running into a few humans along the way. It stars Owen Teague, Freya Allen, Lydia Peckham, Kevin Durant, and Peter McCann. So as you can see, we are in the new location, the new apartment. It's very clear because, oh my god, we are back to bare white walls. So clearly I'm still setting up some stuff, as is evident by my screwdriver and tape measure that's holding up the DVD up there. And you guys can expect a vlog about how the move went, or at least a little bit of something, even if it's just a short, because as my brother so poignantly pointed out, move in the middle. It just writes itself. So now I have to do that. So this movie is the fourth installment in the recent reboot of Planet of the Apes, and the original trilogy is one that I have stuck by for so long. It's so underrated. No one talks about it when it talks about, you know, like the best trilogies of all time, and honestly this is one of the ones. I do at some point want to do reviews on each of those movies or the trilogy as a whole because I just think that it's so well done. I'm just so impressed by how the quality is so good, considering the fact that these should definitely be like B movies. They should be really stupid and like, this is fun action and entertaining, but it's not great. I'm just here to see a bunch of monkeys fight each other. But no, they actually go into so many themes and they're so good and they take their time. And what I mean is they also take their time in between actually filming and putting these out. It doesn't feel like when they put out another movie in this franchise that they're just doing it for money. It feels like there's another edition that needs to happen, and that they're taking their time with it, both for the story and for the motion capture, which is always really good. So let's talk about this one a little bit. Starting off with the highs, the production design of the movie, of course, should be and is incredible. We are now seeing the world as it is, with the apes running just about everything, or at least most of the world, because, you know, most of the world of humans has been wiped out, or, you know, they've been, because of this virus, they've been basically retrograded. They're unevolved, basically. And because of that, most cities and everything that is modern has been overgrown by nature again. So not only do we get to see the jungle, we also do get to see the city and how it's been overgrown, and how all these malls, you can see where stairs and escalators and stores were, but they're just nature again now, with just the loose framework. We get to see a beach. You know, there's like another location where there's a whole beach and a shipwreck, and that is a very cool entire location and set for an entire part of the movie. And one of these locations in particular was very cool because the style of it, the epicness, the score, all of it felt very reminiscent of these old epics like Ten Commandments and Ben-Hur and the original Planet of the Apes. All right, really just all Charlton Heston movies, but you know what I mean. Going along with this, the camera work, the visuals are always impressive in these movies. The camera work is so cool, especially in the fight scenes, but really in just everything that they do. They just have such a good handle on how to tell the story visually, and the motion capture, which has always been a huge hallmark of these movies, is once again very good. There were spots that I thought might have been a little bit iffy here and there, you know, because I'm thinking, okay, we started with Rise and then Dawn and then War, and all of my motion capture just got so much better with each one. It was insane. And with this one, I thought, okay, is it going to be better? Is it going to be about the same? And I think we have slightly plateaued a little bit, but generally for how many things that they had to CGI in this movie, it's incredibly well done. A lot of people are saying that there's not a lot of action in this movie and that it's too slow. In some parts, it's a little bit slower. It takes its time. You know, it respects the material and developing the world and building this new era, because it is an entirely new era that we have to establish what everything is like. The other ones could kind of build off of each other. Now this is an entirely new era, like 300 years later. But there is definitely action in this movie. I don't know what people are talking about. Granted, I haven't seen Dawn or War more than once, so there might be things I'm forgetting about, but I'm like pretty sure there's just as much action in this one, if not more, than in Dawn or War for the Planet of the Apes, because despite the fact that it's called War for the Planet of the Apes, I was surprised at the lack of action that was actually in that one until the end. But this one, there's like at least 4 or 5 good action scenes that I can think of off the top of my head, and they go on a long time and they're pretty impressive. But the story itself is really, really well done, once again, because from the trailer I thought, okay, so it's just gonna be, you know, the new ape Noah, kind of following Caesar's steps, and he's going to take, you know, this human under his wing, and it's going to be about the conflict of humans versus apes once again. And I thought they kind of did that in War for the Planet of the Apes, so why are they doing that again? But that is not really what this movie is about. That's definitely part of it, but there is a bigger thing that's going on. And the story was so good because it wasn't just one thing, and they always do a very layered, complicated story that brings up a lot of themes and questions about evolution, time passing, different groups of people living together, power, looking out for each other versus yourself, loyalty, nature versus man, all of these types of things. They always do such a good job diving into themes and questions like this and bringing those things up without necessarily answering all of them. Also, there's this subplot where they basically talk about Caesar as if he was almost like this Jesus figure. He was like the inception of all of this happening, and because he was so long ago, there's people who don't know who he is. You know, there's apes who have no idea what this all came from. They just know that this is their life, and it really makes you feel that time gap, and it really also enhances a lot of these themes about, you know, the connection between apes and man and what that was like, and how time passing makes things different, and how, you know, mindsets change over time. It brings up all these things, and it was just so cool. You know, not only because Caesar was awesome, and it's cool to see people having that respect for him, you know, like so far later, and just seeing that this little ape from the first one made this huge impact. Just in general, again, they just have such an air of reverence and respect, taking their time with things in these movies. Like, they're just some things. There was one specific scene where I was like, they could have shown something and they didn't, and it made it so much better because it leaves something to your imagination. I have one middle, and it's just the fact that the human voices for the apes really freaked me out at first. Again, so it's not really a bad thing at all, because they actually did a really good job with it in terms of the fact that, you know, even though it's been 300 years, this development is still going on. So it's not completely developed, but it's definitely getting there. So they still have things like sign language and stuttering and trying to find the right words and grunting, you know, instead of saying words. So they kind of have this good mix, but it was just so weird because whereas in the other ones it's sort of this raspy, horsey, you know, we start to have a voice. In this one, it's full on just like people talking, and it's just so weird, but it makes sense. My only low of the movie is basically having to do with where the humans are at this point. Because of the virus, a lot of them have devolved. A lot of them are basically cavemen now, or almost back to that. Basically, the humans are in sort of different phases. You know, some of them are still more literate. They've kept to themselves, and they've kept this going for generations. The other ones, because of the virus, have kind of reverted back to being cavemen. And it just kind of felt, for some of it, like the writers didn't exactly know where they wanted to go with the humans, which side they wanted to do. So they sort of did both. And the ones that are more reverted back to like the old savage lifestyle seem more like a surface level version of that, like they're sort of pretending. It felt like they weren't quite sure what they wanted to do with it, so they sort of did both, but not to a huge extent. They didn't really dive into or commit to either side. But that being said, I think it wasn't the worst thing, and there were definitely some surprises that came out of this subplot. So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is probably generally has the consensus of it's not the best one, but it definitely deserves to be here. Once again, they've done a great job. They don't just put it out just to put it out. They always have a story. And there's things in this one that I really, really did like. I probably liked this one maybe more than Dawn, you know, because, I mean, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is so good. And then War was probably the best one of all 4 so far. But this one definitely has its place. And it actually implies that they're going to do another one. And I think the plan is to do another trilogy, which any other time I'd be like, they're just, it's a money grab. But with this, I know that they've got a plan, and it actually does make a lot of sense because you had one era, and now you have this second post that era. So it's like, all right, you may as well do another couple of stories here. And the way that they did it, it didn't feel like they're coming up with other plots to just have more movies, if that makes sense. It feels like they're taking their time. I know I've said that like a million times, but it does. It feels like they're doing that and not cramming everything into one, but taking this one to do some themes, taking another one to do more themes, and just kind of increasing all of these questions and thoughts and just discussions, which is wild considering this is a movie about monkeys taking over the planet. I'm going to give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes a 3.5 out of 4. Well, guys, let me know what you thought of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Where does it rank among the other ones for you? What do you think of all the other ones? You know, I actually have only ever seen the original, but I didn't see the 2001 Tim Burton one. So what do you guys think of all those? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.